vintage game finder and Neves Mazda 07. It's been a couple weeks. I had some issues with my car that I had to go ahead and take care of, so I needed the garage space. So it went from a studio back to a garage, and now I went back to the studio. I am a multitasker, to say the least. I appreciate the patience, especially to my subscribers. I will be trying very hard to go ahead and go back to the one episode a week regimen that I've been trying to maintain, but you know, just like everything else in life, I mean, there's peaks and valleys, so which I'm pretty sure a lot of you can relate to. So I had a pretty successful week, I gotta say. I got a couple freebies, of course, from my cousin, of course. You guys know him as Retro Jeff. I'm still trying to get him over here. He had a little bit of a mishap and he ended up in the hospital, but he is recovering, and he should be making his way over here, hopefully in the next video, so you can see some of his pickups as well, because he loves picking up stuff in a lot of weird places. So let's go ahead and show you what I picked up from Retro Jeff, and that is, for now, where we're gonna start with Kirby Triple Deluxe on the Nintendo 3DS. No game, of course, no manual, it's just the cover art and the case. But I collect these two because you never know. Most of the time when I run across any DS games in the wild, excuse me, they're usually in a case, or they're just loose in whatever area they put them in. Is usually with the cassettes or CDs, they just throw them in there. So I definitely keep these around, just so if you ever come across a copy or just any other copy of a DS or a 3DS game, you got a case to put them in. So I got that from him. Also got another Super Nintendo cartridge cover. These are awesome to have, love them. This is pretty cool. This is gonna make my third or fourth charger, but this is a Game Boy Advance SP AC adapter, and it looks to be the AGS/002 unit. I think this is the one with the better monitor, if I'm not mistaken. Very good to have original adapters or chargers from Nintendo, because these last a very long time. They really don't mess around with the quality when it comes to this stuff. So Nintendo always gets a thumbs up for me as far as that goes. That aspect of the video game market, they make very good quality accessories to go with the consoles. And last, I have another Wii box. But the difference between this Wii box and the one that I recovered myself, I like to say I rescued it, because that's what I did. I basically took it out of the garbage because they just took the console and threw the box out, and which is understandable. A lot of people do that. I've been guilty of doing that myself, but that's because I didn't know any better. But now that I'm collecting this stuff, whenever I see it, I love to scoop it up, even if it's stuff that I don't really want. There's always somebody that I meet that's always saying, hey, have you come across a box for the Jaguar, or a box for Super Nintendo, or in this case a box for a Wii? I can say, yeah, I got one. So this one's pretty cool because it's a little bit heavier. It has all the partitions, it has the manuals, has the back plates for the nunchucks. It's got some stuff, so I'm very happy that I went ahead and got this for my cousin Retro Jeff, which is awesome. Jeff, if you're watching, thank you. Get well soon, and hopefully we'll have you in the next video. Okay, next I went ahead and tried out a new pawn shop in town that I didn't step into for whatever reason. I just never went in there. And they did have games, but every game that I asked the lady about, she went ahead and typed it up, checked it out online, and gave me her price. which basically means she went ahead and looked it up on eBay. I don't know what tactics they use as far as looking up the prices on eBay. Some people just look at the buy it now. Some people check for a certain amount of bids and what that auction closed for, and they try to average it out. And that's what I basically try to do. I try to look between 7 to 10 bids and what it closed for. So let's say there's a game that sold for $12 with $3 shipping. I go ahead and say, you know what, $10. It's worth $10 because in this hobby there's no Kelley Blue Book. Let's just say there's no Kelley Blue Book for what we collect and what we sell or what we try to barter for. There's no set market price, so you're working on averages pretty much. So I went ahead and picked up something at least just so I didn't waste the gas going over there and checking it out. So I picked up for the Nintendo GameCube SSX3, and that is complete. Just very little water damage on the cover art, but I mean, I went ahead and picked it up for $5. I really needed this for my GameCube collection. I was trying to look for it, didn't find it, saw it there, and I picked it up. But while I was there, I went ahead and looked around, and there's an area in most pawn shops where they go ahead and gather the stuff they just picked up for the day or the day before, and that's the stuff basically that they have to go ahead and sift through and look up the prices for and price it accordingly and put it up on the floor to sell eventually. And I looked in that area, and I went ahead and called the girl over and I asked her if I could take a look at some of the stuff that's there. She's like, "Oh, we didn't price it yet." I said, "That's fine. I wanted to take a look at it." She gave me the bin, and this is what I found. It's a lot of manuals. Well, a pretty decent amount for me. Most of them are Nintendo 64. I have 1, 2, 3 consumer information and precautions booklets. Register for electronic arts. Excuse me. I have a Mario Kart 64 operation card. This was pretty cool. It's basically a rundown on how to play the game. So that's pretty cool to have. I got a player's guide offer inside. I think this is for Nintendo Power, I believe. And I have 2 of these for Super Mario 64. Which is pretty cool. I have about 2 of these. Put these back together. I also have another Nintendo Power. This one is for GoldenEye, obviously. And they're in decent shape. The borders are nice and crisp. No fading in the color. It's pretty awesome. I also have the instruction booklet for Super Smash Brothers. Pretty sweet. Instruction booklet for NASCAR 99. And the instruction booklet for Wave Race 64. All around, all original, very little damage. I was very happy to pick it up. She didn't have a price in mind, and I just threw out $5. I just said, you know, just give me I'll give you $5. Let me take them off your hands. And she let me have them, so I'm very happy about that. You can never have too many manuals, especially if you're trying to have completed box games, which I don't really care too much for anymore. You know, as long as I have the game, it's playable, and I could have it in decent storage with a case or cover art that I print up, then I'm happy about that, you know. Let's see what we got next. This pickup, I got a lot of Xbox games, and I got it from social media groups. I like to say the names of it, but sometimes the competition likes to watch the video, so let's just say I got it on Facebook, okay? I mean, the more into it you get in this hobby, and the more people you meet, you start to realize that more often than not, there's a lot of people that are not in it for the love of the games or the love of the hobby. They're in it to go ahead and turn a buck, which I understand given the way the economy is, but still, it's not a good look in general, because people start to look at you in the same vein that they look at those people that are just flipping everything that they find. And the people that don't know me might have that misconception, but I'm pretty much collecting stuff that I don't want or need, that I do come across. I still pick it up because it's priced right. It's priced to the point that I can't refuse it. But at the same time, I'm not going to turn around and ask for an exaggerated amount of money for it. You know what I'm saying? So I usually, in that situation, just try to trade it for equal value. So got some Xbox games. Don't have an Xbox console yet. You know who I'm talking to. But these are certain games that I want to play just to have the experience of playing it and saying, yeah, I played it on Xbox. Okay, let's run down the games real quick. Future Tactics, The Uprising. Blinks, The Time Sweeper. This one looks kind of interesting, gotta tell you. Next is Oddworld Munch's Odyssey. I'm pretty sure it's a Abe Odyssey spin-off. Yeah, there he is. Play cooperatively as Munch and Abe. That one looks pretty cool. Next, this one I love Sega. Always have, always will. So I saw this game and I had to pick it up. It was Phantasy Star Universe. Yep, Phantasy Star Universe. So it looks pretty cool. Had to pick it up, couldn't pass it up. Next, I have the Platinum Hits edition of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. And another copy of Enter the Matrix. This one's for the Xbox. The copy that I have is for the GameCube. There are notable differences, of course, between this and the GameCube version. But I'm pretty sure it's just the same game. Alright. This one now is a pawn shop pickup. This is one of those pawn shops where they still have their CD section, and the CD section has now been looked through by people such as myself. So I was very happy when I went ahead and found these. Not only because I found them in the first place, but for the price that I picked them up for, which was pretty much $1 each. So I'm very happy to have these in my possession, and also very happy to put them in my collection. Here we go. I have a copy of Shadow Master for the PlayStation. Agile Warrior F3X, I think that's how it's pronounced. That one's loose, but of course, like I tell you, I can always download the cover. It's not a big deal. This is my second copy of Ridge Racer. Ridge Racer. Jesus Christ. Ridge Racer on the PS1. Next, I have my first pinball game for the PlayStation 1. This is Big Race USA. It looks pretty cool. My first Tekken. Surprisingly, I found more Tekkens for the PS2 than any other PlayStation console. I was thinking I'd find multiple copies for the PlayStation 1, but it was the other way around. This one is Tekken 2, the Greatest Hits edition, no back art. But I have the front, I have the manual in the game, so that's good enough for me. Next, I have another Greatest Hits of Die Hard Trilogy. I remember playing this on the Saturn and not enjoying it that much, but it's still really cool to have. Next, I have a complete copy of Sled Storm from Electronic Arts. And another PlayStation 1 game, it's Pitfall 3D Beyond the Jungle. Heard very bad things about this game. I remember playing Pitfall on Super Nintendo, and of course the Atari. Who hasn't, right? But they gave this one pretty bad reviews, so I want to go ahead and play it and confirm that. I'm hoping I could do that eventually. And I also review games weekly on my Facebook page, Vintage Game Finder. I pretty much do Game of the Week, and I do it on a different console or a different handheld. And I try to really not stick to the mainstream titles. I like to play the more obscure games, the games that are a little bit harder to find. But every now and then I like to, of course, throw in a Super Mario Brothers every now and then, just to mix it up. This Sega Dreamcast game is complete. Very happy to find it. I heard pretty good things about it. It's another Mario Kart spin-off. This one is called the Walt Disney World Quest Magical Racing Tour. Looks kind of cool. It has the usual Mario Kart formula, where you have power-ups and you have stuff you can throw at the character in front of you. But ooh, that's pretty cool. It's made by Crystal Dynamics, so I will be giving this a shot. Crystal Dynamics, for back in the day, used to make some pretty good games. I don't even know if they're in business anymore. I mean, if you guys know, go ahead and let me know in the comment section, but I'm pretty sure they're not in business anymore. Alright, next, the rest of these are pretty much yard sale pickups, and it's a weekly thing now. Every day I'm getting phone calls from people I've networked or bought stuff off of in the past, and they're giving me calls. Hey, I found something else in my house. I'll send you pics. You know, this is how much I want for it. This, that, and the other. Okay, I got the money in my pocket. I'll be over at your house in 10 minutes to pick it up. And that's basically what I do. And that's not a bad thing, because they go ahead and they tell their friends, and the word gets around, hey, I know this guy that's buying all the old video games. Because you can take some of these games and take them to GameStop, and you know what they're going to say: we don't take these games anymore. So what other option do you have? The last option is always to throw it away. I hope that they never do that. You know, just give me a call and I'll come pick it up. I'll give you something for it. I will put money in your pocket. This is, to me, in my opinion, is basically a piece of history, a piece of somebody's childhood, and the least we could do is try to make every effort to go ahead and preserve that. But enough of me talking. Let me just show you what I picked up, and we'll move on. I got Virtua Fighter 4 for the PS2. Put that here. Also have Virtua Fighter 5 for the PS3. My first Virtua Fighter game on the PS3. Looks pretty cool. I grew up playing the Virtua Fighter ever since it came out in the arcades. God knows when. I think it was 94, 95. And I spent a lot of quarters on this. I'm originally a Street Fighter kid, but this game became very, very, very cool to me very quick as soon as it came out, and I had fun trying to master all the movesets. But I think I got good with maybe one or two characters, and that was about it. But if you had to ask me between this and Tekken, I would always go with Virtua Fighter, just because I feel like it was just a little bit more grounded in reality, where Tekken kind of wasn't. It was a little bit more fireworks, if that makes any sense. But yeah, for me, Virtua Fighter all day. Next is another GTA pickup. This one is Grand Theft Auto Vice City. I don't know how many copies of this I have. I know I have one for my collection. This one's definitely going to get passed along, but I like picking these up. Don't know if there's any HD remakes out, or if there's any HD remakes on the way, but it's always cool to have some GTA games in anybody's collection, really. So this was it's been a while since I picked up a Nintendo game. I got a original NES game, but when I picked this up, I was pretty happy, and especially for the price. I got this cover basically for free. These old school video game store rental cases, which is always cool. But also with that, I got another copy of Super Mario Brothers 2. It's not the definitive version of the Super Mario Brothers games, but This definitely was no slouch either, and there was some creativity behind it, especially in the levels and the enemies that were in there. And you know, most of anybody that's a retro gamer knows how this game came to be, and all around just a very fun game. So there are very few Mario games that I don't like, but that's one of them that was actually pretty good. Next, these pickups are for my kids, and thankfully they are asleep because they have been a handful today. I got for the Nintendo DS Disney Princess Magical Jewels, and for the Nintendo Wii Elmo's Musical Monster Piece, the video game. So whatever it takes to make them happy, I do that, and in this case is buying them these kinds of games. So hey, we all started somewhere at one point when we were kids. I remember playing Sesame Street on the NES, and it was enjoyable. It wasn't a graphical tour de force or anything, but you gotta get started somewhere. So that was one of the games I started playing, and of course Mario. So to go ahead and round up today's video, we have another AC adapter for the Game Boy Advance SP, but this one's a little different because it just says AC adapter. There's no from the looks of it here, this is not an original Nintendo adapter. It might be an aftermarket, but still, like I said before, these are good to have because I don't know about you guys, but I run across Game Boys at least once or twice a week. Game Boy Colors, Game Boy Advance SPs, and not really Game Boy Pockets, but those two pretty much. So it's always good to have the chargers. You always know one or two people in one of your Facebook groups or in one of your neighborhood groups where they're actually looking for stuff like that. So that's really good to have as far as trade bait goes. So that's it pretty much. I like to say it was a successful week all around. Picked up some cool stuff again from Retro Jeff, thank you. And made some new contacts and some new friends. Hopefully this hobby has its perks, definitely. So I want to say thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, of course. And hopefully I'll be able to see you next week with another amazing catch. But until then, stay safe, God bless, and happy hunting.